Oh, Nintendo, you used to be so good, and now look at you.
You ain't nothing! You ain't nothing!
Alright, so this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, but I just haven't done it because, I don't know, I just haven't felt like it. I don't like making videos of ranting and raving, but I just wanted to make this one because I just have to get it off my chest. First, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. I'm a huge Nintendo fan, or should I say I was a huge Nintendo fan back in the day for the NES, the SNES, Nintendo 64, and Nintendo GameCube. I loved every single one of those consoles to death. I love them to this day. Hell, I mean, look at this. I've got a friggin' Super Nintendo controller right here. It's a, well, third party, but still. I play Super Nintendo games regularly to this day, and I still love them. But Nintendo has really dropped the ball and fallen off the map completely for me, and all I do nowadays is I play the older Nintendo games, the older Sega games, Xbox, and PC, and that's it. And there's a variety of reasons why I don't like Nintendo anymore, but I'm going to focus on a couple of reasons for this video for the sake of time. So the only social media that I actually use is a site called Gab. It's kind of like Twitter, except better in every single way. But on that site, I posted this. Nintendo is the most infuriating company to watch. I keep waiting, watching, hoping that they return to the company I used to love. They used to be the cutting edge of technology and gameplay. Now they put out overpriced, underpowered hardware, and for the most part, average titles. They're sitting on a mountain of excellent unused IPs and are not even utilizing the ones they do use to their full potential. They pump out various Mario games, but they are really plain compared to what they could be. At least we still have the classic Nintendo consoles and titles. And of course, this generated a lot of discussion. Some people agree with me, some people disagree with me. I would say most people agree with me, but there's some good stuff in there. This guy says, "Amen. I've been missing Nintendo for over 15 years now." Hey, I'm right there with you. I love Nintendo and I just keep waiting for them to do cool stuff again. Bring it back to awesome. And I mentioned in that thread, I can count on one hand the amount of excellent games that Nintendo has created in the last 15 years. I will say that the three best titles that Nintendo's made in the last 15 years would be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, because man, there's a ton of characters in that game. So many characters that I never thought would ever make it into a Smash Bros. Games are in Ultimate, and that is cool. Super Mario Maker 1 and 2 are also very excellent examples of how Nintendo can use their franchises and their IPs to their fullest extent. And of course, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has gotten 10 billion Game of the Year awards and perfect scores across the board from a number of different publications. I actually haven't played it yet because I refuse to buy a Nintendo console because of their nonsense. So I'm going to talk about three things that really bother me the most when it comes to Nintendo and the way they handle their business right now. The first thing is they are sitting on a potential goldmine of unused IPs, unused franchises. Where's Earthbound? Where the hell is F-Zero? It's like the only way that casual gamers know that these games exist is through Smash Brothers, and then that's it. The fact that Nintendo continues to ignore the fact that F-Zero GX exists is an absolute insult. That game is totally amazing, one of my favorite games of all time. And Nintendo's like, what is that? What is this game that you speak of? Nintendo used to push the boundary. They used to set the bar for the entire video game industry when it came to gameplay, when it came to game design, when it came to console design and technology. They were leading the pack all the way. Anytime they came out with a new console, it set the bar. Even the Nintendo 64, to an extent, I know that, Sony and Sega went the CD route, the disc-based route, and Nintendo stuck with cartridges, which was kind of a double-edged sword. It was great because, it reduced loading time to basically nothing, and they were a lot more durable. So that is good, but at the same time, it didn't have the same storage capacity. But I really liked the Nintendo 64, especially with the analog stick on the controller and the 4 controller ports on the console. I loved it, man. That was a great addition. That was a good call, Nintendo. And I'll never forget the magical feeling that I got whenever I played Super Mario 64 for the first time and using the analog stick and getting used to it. I thought it was amazing. I could just push it just a tiny little bit to get Mario to tiptoe and then walk, or push it all the way to do a full sprint. How amazing is that? Everything changed when Nintendo came out with the Wii. That is when things started to go downhill, and it was the beginning of the end for me personally in my relationship to Nintendo. The Wii had basically the same hardware capabilities as the GameCube did, but of course they added the motion controls. So it was just like, we need a whole new system for this? I don't understand. because like at that time we had the Xbox 360 and then the PlayStation 3, and those games were really pushing the envelope in terms of console gaming. And then you go back to play non-HD games on the Wii, it's like, wow, this is really ugly in comparison. And the Wii had some good games too, don't get me wrong, but I mean, visual fidelity just wasn't there, and I could tell that Nintendo was really trying to break into a more casual market with their games and the motion controls. The one game that I played the most on the Wii, and the one that I had the most fun with, especially with friends and family, was Wii Sports, and that was included with the Wii, so that was a win. But at the end of the day, I really had to sit down and ask myself, are these games better for me wiggling a controller in the air versus pressing a button on a controller? Like, does that really make a huge difference at the end of the day? No, it doesn't. It feels like a gimmick, and it is. Ever since then, Nintendo has been lagging behind the competition in terms of hardware capability and online infrastructure. When you look at Xbox Live and how it let people send people voice chats or messages or join parties and do all that stuff, and people could exchange their actual online name to become friends online and have a list, Nintendo's stuck with their stupid little friend code system all the way to this day. Like, the fact that they still use the friend code system is so stupid. Nintendo's online system is so archaic and terrible. I'm gonna finish up this video with Mario, the Mario franchise. Nintendo doesn't shy away from pumping out 16 Mario games every 2 years, so I know that they are putting all their money, all their time into generating more Mario games, because that's just like their cash cow. They can just pump out whatever they want, slap Mario's name on it, and it's gonna sell. And the problem is market oversaturation. They got so many different Mario games: Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Party 314. It's just ridiculous. And back whenever Mario was, you know, in his golden era, the golden era of 2D gaming in the Super Nintendo, and even the Nintendo 64 with Super Mario 64, those were really like events. Whenever it came to the launch of those games, that was it. Like, the entire gaming world just stopped because it was Mario time. And nowadays it's just like, oh, here's the 5th Mario game this year. Woo! And the whole Mario universe just seems so boring now. Boring, bland. There's nothing special, nothing fun or unique about it anymore. And I know I'm an older gamer here, so I don't want to feel like I'm just complaining for complaining's sake. I do have some legitimate good ideas that Nintendo could use if they ever see this video, and these are just thoughts, you know, from my own head that I'm like, it blows my mind they haven't even done anything like this yet. A few months ago, my wife was asking me, why hasn't Nintendo made another Mario Paint yet? Mario Paint on Super Nintendo was so fun, why haven't they made another one? And I said, I'm glad you asked me that. Let me tell you, it's because they're stupid and lazy. Now just hear me out for a little bit. Imagine if Mario Paint came out again. They made a new Mario Paint and it was a digital download. Let's say they charged $15 or $20 to download this Mario Paint for the new console. It would actually work out really well if it was on the Wii U, you know, back when the Wii U was like the console, the current console, because it had the stylus and it had the tablet. How cool would that be? You can make your own art on the Wii U. Now they can do it with the Switch if they really wanted to, and just either utilize USB mice or a Bluetooth mouse. That would be really cool. And then they can make it to where any artwork that you create within this new Mario Paint, you can export to other games. You could save it locally on your console or like sync it up to some sort of cloud-based system, and then you can apply your artwork to other games for custom purposes. Like, you can have a custom background for your level in Mario Maker 2, or you can have it as a custom background in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And your imagination can really run wild here. You can make whatever you want and apply it to a number of different things in games, like skinning your vehicle in a game or anything like that. So that way, it's totally optional. You're not required to get Mario Paint, but if you do, you can add more customization to other first-party and maybe even third-party titles. Okay, Nintendo? Are you listening? That one's for free. I'm gonna start charging you. And let's talk about Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Man, here we go. So Super Mario All-Stars, when it launched for the Super Nintendo, man, it was like a whole new game. It had Super Mario Bros. 1, The Lost Levels, 2, and 3 all in one package, and they felt like brand new titles when you played through them. It's like, wow, these games are the same old games. Gameplay-wise, they were identical. But Nintendo redid all the music, they redid all the sounds, they redrew all of the art assets, the backgrounds, the characters, and the animations were all completely redone. So the games felt brand new, and it was exciting to get to the next level because even though you know what the level's like, there's no surprises, you wanted to see what it looked and sounded like because Nintendo really put a ton of effort into making Super Mario All-Stars on Super Nintendo a must-have title, and it still is. And now fast forward to 2020, and Nintendo launches Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Woo! So, I was excited when I heard about this announcement. I'm like, alright, let's go, let's do this. I am ready for Nintendo to bring it back to the greatness that they once were. But I was disappointed. I shouldn't have got my hopes up. All they did was they took 3 Mario titles, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, and they upped them to HD resolutions, 720p and 1080p, and made sure they all had 16:9 aspect ratios. The end. That's all they did. The most laziest upgrade I've ever seen. What they could have done is something that a lot of fans are actually doing for free, and that is remaking Super Mario 64 using a new engine like Unreal. And the results are ridiculous. I've seen some amazing things that fans have created in their spare time, and Nintendo can't even touch it. So I think having the All-Stars title on this Super Mario 3D All-Stars title is an insult. It's like, just don't. Stop it. Oh, and I almost forgot, one of the things that annoys me so much about the Switch and Nintendo is the fact that they use Google AdSense to track people's activity in their store so that they can send them targeted advertising. That's not what a lot of people want. You can go in and turn that feature off, but it's like, really? This is what Nintendo is now. And it's just frustrating because I can play Super Nintendo games all day long and they're still so much fun. They're great, classic games. Excellent music, and that was during a time that Nintendo actually cared about what they put out. All the content they create, the quality of the content. And now it's like profits. They just want profits, the end. They're gonna put Mario into a machine and it's just gonna pump out mediocre Mario titles from now until the end of time so that they can fill up their wallets. Okay, so last idea, Nintendo. This is my last idea I'm gonna give you before I start charging you. This is the last one, okay? Ready? Mario. The Mario universe is not realistic. Everybody knows that, it's plain as day. What you did with Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is you took the Zelda universe and made it kind of like a cartoon, like a fun, cel-shaded look, which is great. I actually love that game, it's very, very good. But why haven't you done that with Mario yet? You need to take the Mario universe and make it into like a playable cartoon. Make the features exaggerated, the movements, the animations should be totally just like off the wall and crazy and exaggerated. Make it fun again, make it colorful. It just seems like all the Mario games now, they use the same exact Mario model, sounds, animations, and just like regurgitate them over and over and over again. So if you're gonna make a 3D Mario game, my suggestion would be to pay close attention to Super Mario 64, but improve on that. Make it look like, if someone is watching someone else play this new Mario game, make it look like they're watching a cartoon. It should be fluid, smooth, colorful, and it should really pop out of the screen. If you're gonna make a 2D Mario game, my suggestion would be hand draw all sprites. Don't take the 3D Mario model and just make a 2D game out of it. That's lazy. Take 2D hand-drawn sprites with fluid animation and just go crazy with it. Give Mario a lot of custom character, you know what I mean? So like one example would be like if he jumps in the air and he's falling back down, you can make him like hold on to his hat as he's falling. So that way, you know, just little things like that. Just spice it up a bit, make it new. Make the Mario games fun, unique, memorable again. Make them look like cartoons. That's my suggestion. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe Nintendo's awesome and I just don't realize it, but I haven't liked them since the Wii. And like I said, I can make a lot more points about why I don't like Nintendo, but those are kind of the main ones. They put out overpriced, underpowered hardware. They churn out a bunch of mediocre titles because they turn a profit. Their online infrastructure sucks, and they ignore a lot of great IPs. This is the end of my rant, okay? I'm done. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've been thinking about this for a long time and I just kind of keep brushing it under the rug and it's like, I can't do that anymore. Nintendo's just, they make me angry. Very angry. In any case, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already and I'll see you again soon.